Håkan. Sen... Hi, welcome to Azure User Group Sweden edition 2026, and Happy New Year, everyone that are watching us live today or recorded. Happy New Year. And hi, Håkan. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, Jonah. It's really great to be back here in 2026.
Yes, how was your 2025 and New Year like?
It was very relaxing. Unfortunately, there were not that much snow, but snow has come now instead. So now it's minus 14 and lots of snow.
Okay, yeah, I can relate to that. I was like very disappointed that snow didn't show up on the Christmas Eve, but then we got a lot of snow in the New Year's Eve instead. Now lots, but it's good to be back at our community. And thanks everyone. I hope you also had a great New Year. And also, this is a good kickoff as well because our first speaker is a Microsoft MVP and also from Sweden and a friend of ours. And it's going to be a great topic that's relevant for this year. But before we start, let's do the proper introduction in case there's somebody in our Azure User Group Sweden community that's new and watching us publicly. I'll introduce my co-leader, Håkan Silvernagel. He is also a Microsoft MVP for AI technologies. He works as an AI expert or architect at Sopra Steria in Norway. He is also a Microsoft certified trainer, community lead for the MCP community, and very active in the community like AI 42 School and Norwegian.net user group in Oslo. So I'm very honored and glad to continue collaborating with you, Håkan, in this adventure that we have for the community, by us, the community. So it's amazing to continue working with you in this. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jonah. So I'm also very proud and happy to be introducing the founder of our user group, Jonah Anderson. She's an MVP in Azure, and she's also a Microsoft Certified Trainer and the Microsoft Certified Trainer Community Lead. She is also an international public speaker, a podcast host, and an author of Learning Microsoft Azure on O'Reilly. And in her day-to-day, she works as a senior Azure consultant.
Thank you, Håkan. And welcome, everybody. If it's your first time, thank you for spending time this weekend. If it's you're someone coming back from our community, thank you for continuing your learning with us. And before we bring in our speaker, I would like to also, let's see if I can share. Can I share my screen, Håkan, just briefly? I want to kind of like say thank you to our, let's see here. Let me share the entire screen. Yes, I want to share my screen to say thank you to, of course, we have Cecilia kicking off now, but this is our Azure User Group YouTube channel where we already have like 632 subscribers. The meetup has like over 1,000. But before we like bring in our guest speaker Cecilia today and learn about building our own MCP servers, I want to highlight the speakers that we had for 2025, where we have different sessions about containers from returning speakers who are MVPs. We also have new speakers that are not Microsoft MVPs or never spoken about that really shared their knowledge. So we had a session about .NET and Open API, about Azure, Language Studio, about Foundry and Teams, a bit of MCP also, but more on the workflows and VS Code. We also had a good sessions about LLM and how one of the sessions there we had a robot talking and searching queries on SQL Studio, a bit about Azure policy. We also had a good session from Turi. I remember I had a bad connection because I was in the train on this. And also Kim, he was returning a Azure AI MVP or an IoT MVP returning. As a speaker and also from Sweden. And we have a few more as well. So thank you, all of you, for devoting 1 hour of your time on your weekends to share your knowledge, because this is community driven. We don't get paid to do this. Speakers don't get to pay this. We're doing it voluntarily for the community. So I just want to highlight that for everybody. So let me do our code of conduct. Just a reminder for at Azure User Group Sweden, which is part of the Azure Tech Groups, we expect everyone to be same as usual. Be nice and friendly to everybody. Be inclusive in your comments or questions, whether on live chat, recorded, or any interaction related to this session. And if you have questions, don't be shy. Feel free to post it in our live chat or even afterwards. We're going to be sharing a QR code where you can join me, Håkan, and Cecilia if we run out of time and have private questions or related questions to the session today. But otherwise, our speaker are willing to answer the questions on the go as we go through the live session today. All right. Anything else? Are you ready?
No, yeah, I'm really here too. So we're very happy to present to you the first speaker of 2026, Cecilia Wirén. Let us add her here to the stage. Welcome, Cecilia.
Thank you. Nice
yes,
to finally
welcome.
be
I'm
here.
so happy to have you.
We had
We've
really
spoken
trouble
in many conferences before.
Yeah.
Let's introduce her, Håkan, before I start talking.
Yes. So Cecilia is a senior developer at Active Solutions with over 2 decades of experience in the world of Microsoft development. And her accomplishment has awarded her multiple times with the Microsoft MVP award. She's often invited to share her insights at conferences and user group meetings. And during this journey, she has specialized in multiple areas, including security and DevOps. And nowadays, the field of AI has become her new favorite topic.
Yes.
That's
so
awesome.
what will our viewers learn here today, Cecilia?
Yeah, I want to share with them how you can build your own MCP servers to enrich the different AI tools with your capabilities, or you like internally or for customers or whatever you like to share. And there is a couple of different ways of doing that, but I'm going to focus on the Microsoft track, so we can see examples in C#. But the theory is similar to the different other languages, I would say. So that'll be fun to show.
Great. Yeah, I'm excited to learn. And I just want to highlight that Cecilia works as a consultant developer, senior developer at Active Solution, which is a company in Sweden that I often see in orange jacket and hoodie at conference like Swetug and other local conferences. So it's good to have Cecilia as well. And we've spoken to a few conferences together. So glad to see her. And I look forward to to learn from you, Cecilia.
Yeah, we like to be in our company, like to be in the community and share knowledge, a lot of stuff. And we are a couple of MVPs hired, but it's not only the MVPs that's sharing knowledge, but we are several people, and that's come from kind of internal culture where we really like to learn stuff all the time. So we are sharing sessions or just a chat, and so we are used to think about things we do and this is something I should share with other people. So that's popping up all the time when I'm doing stuff. So this is a topic that was kind of that when I tried to do it myself, and like, this is a little bit tricky. There's not a really good there's a really easy getting started, but it's too small kind of thing. So like, how maybe I can do a better sharing and kickstarting people on this. So that's kind of where
That's
the
great.
idea come
Yeah.
from the first place.
I like that mindset. And I know Active Solution also has a podcast called Avkodad, where you also do discuss some technology stuff as well. So that's also something I can recommend to our viewers who understand Swedish, because we all three speak Swedish, but we're switching language to English to be inclusive and diverse to everybody. But that's great. Should we share and kick off your presentation, Cecilia?
Yeah. Yes.
I think our
move things around here.
Members are excited also to learn.
Let's see, screen and do something like this. Oh, that's not the right screen.
Make sure you don't do the incognito.
Yeah, so now I have a screen at the right place. I can share the presentation.
The nerd dilemma.
Yeah.
Screens everywhere.
So now I'm set up. Yeah, so there it is.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, feel free to ask questions on the go, and Håkan and I will be on backstage to share. But thank you, Cecilia. The stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. We have talked a little bit about me already, but here is my contact information. So if you have any additional question that you can't ask now or in the chat or whatever, please contact me, reach me up. I'm mostly active on LinkedIn, but I do have my tag Cecilia Sharp in other one as well. And there is my email if you like to. So this is about how connect your system with AI tools using MCP servers. But so I'm a heavy user of AI, as my image here tries to illustrate. I really love AI. I was early on, and I feel that I really have embraced AI, using it for like everything from helping me code, help me solve private issues, like when I'm doing gardening, trying to figure out how to best best do like growing cucumber. How do I do that best with my what I have to offer here at home? Like, could I have it in my porch yard, or like right in the soil or whatever? And I just ask them and try to figure it out. I use it to plan stuff, both privately and for work. Of course, I've used it for this used it to create this presentation, not for the technical stuff because that's too new, but more of like, how should I present it? How could I do a good presentation, or how could I do a bit intro, whatever. So I'm really having it, but there is a lot of issues with like adding the information that I need to know to solve my problems. Every single time I may need to add all the facts around different things, and a lot of facts that I need is in my head. And if I had like a personal assistant, like a real one, not an AI, that person would kind to have all this kind of way of either in their head or look it up or something like that. So that's kind of what's lacking in the AI space right now, or starting to be solved, is that you need other stuff than just like your brain, like the AI brain. So I want to take an example. Most of you may have a car, or you may not. But if you have a car, and if you have a car in Sweden and most of other European countries, you need to do a yearly checkup on your car. So, and in Sweden, we do have like, when do you need to do your checkup? I think it's 14 months since your last checkup. So it's floating. You can do it like, maybe it's like Mars every year, and then try to remember that. But it's really hard to know when you're supposed to do this. there's a site where you can log in and look it up, but you need to do that apparently a couple of times to remember, like, when it's usually Christmas, but then you have like the 2 more months, and next time it's like February, and then like so it's kind of hard to keep track of that. And then when you know, like, yeah, it's the last of Mars or something, then you need to figure out, like, okay, so how much time do I have? Is it like in January as now, or is it like in the middle of March? I like 2 weeks on it. I try to figure out, like, when could I go there, looking at my calendar, like, when do I have time, depending on how far away it is and so on. But it just can take like 10 minutes or something like that. And then I also need to, like, where do I go? Where I live, I have 2 different companies I can go to. So depending on, like, do I need to do it in like 1 week because I have the deadline coming up? Then I need to go to both of them and see, like, okay, which one have available times? And if they don't have that, I need to go, like, to the next city and see, does not one of them have? Do I have a longer period of time to do it? Maybe I want to pick something where there's the lowest price on, like, some of them have, if you come in the morning, it's cheaper or something. And I need to align that with my calendar so I don't have meetings or something. So there's a couple of steps involved, and it can take like a half an hour to solve this one. And this is something that the AI can solve, but it needs information. So it needs to have like the deadline date to know when to when is the last day to do it. And it needs to have like my calendar to look up, like, I don't have any meetings, are you planning to go like abroad or something for a session or a conference or something? Then it's really hard to go there and do the checkup. And also, like, if, like, do you want to have, like, it's just 1 week, okay, you will need to find anything in like a approximate distance or something. Or could I like wait and just take the cheapest available slot? So for the AI to do that, it needs connection to stuff. So the connection to calendar, to this API where you can look up the deadline, hopefully the API to the checkout places, or like the website or something. And the AIs, the different AI systems we have, you before MCP service, you needed, if you are a provider of, like, say, the car checkout place, you could write something for the AI, but it was different. Every single AI have a different solution for it. So you needed to write one for ChatGPT and one for Claude and etc. Kind of time consuming, and you don't really know if people find them. It could be hard to put them inside of the systems and stuff like that. So so that's kind of where we are. So so we need the different connections, and the solution to have a more easy way to connect to different things you need from an AI perspective is then Model Context Protocol, or MCP. So this is a standard that Anthropic did create, and they are the ones that do Claude. But it's an open standard, and it's basically how AI talks to external system. So it's something they're trying to do, like an USB-C port kind of thing for like endpoints, you could say, or something. So really good thing, and it's catching on. All the AI tools are supporting it. It's developing in development mode right now. There's a lot of SDKs around it, so like it's become like the standard that people want to use. And it's kind of easy because it's similar to the kind of API endpoints and stuff like that you did before, but you have a little bit of more things you need to put on it. So it's not kind of strange, so it feels familiar. So the architecture around this is that you have an MCP host. So this is your AI assistants, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. It can be things like JetBrains AI Assistant, which is the code with GitHub Copilot. It can be Microsoft Copilot Studio. It can be Cursor. It can even be your own AI application. So something is like an AI assistant is your MCP host. And in your MCP host, or the I would say so the MCP host need to have something called a part of the code called an MCP client. So it's basically the code that's going to be connected to the MCP server, and it's need to do a couple of things in a different way than like a regular API. So this is about, so with this framework that we're going to look at, you are able to do your own MCP client inside of your own MCP host or like AI application if you like to. We don't going to look at the code for that one, but it's in the same packages and in the same site, and the resources are going to give you later, you find those kind of things as well. But I think it's more common that you have an API that you want to use in AI or want other people to use in AI than to actually enhance your AI system. I do have written a lot of AI assistant systems, so I'm personally interested in write MCP clients part myself, but we have a limited time, so we're going to focus on the other part, the MCP server part, where is a more advanced API, we can say more or less. So, and the structure is that for every MCP server, you have an instance of an MCP client. So it's a one-to-one ratio here. And an MCP server can, of course, be connected to more than one MCP client. So you don't have to put up one instance for every user. So that's the architecture. There are two hosting options. The first one is standard AI. So you can host an MCP server locally on machine. This is good for things that are only local on your machine that you want to be able to share. Or if you do an MCP server that only for yourself. So it's you want to share with anybody, whatever, then you can write it and host it local on your machine without any like IIS or like web server or whatever. So that's a really good thing. And the other thing is hosting as streamable HTTP. So you can host it as a web app, like everywhere, like mostly kind of all place where you can put an web API, I would say. So that's the two different options. The only thing we need to keep that in mind when you're creating one, both be doing the right kind of project, but also in the like configuration of the framework that we're using. So, and if we want to share it to customer stuff, like I would say the streamable HTTP is the best way. Of course, you could do it like an application as well, but it's kind of tricky it's harder for people to actually configure it inside of the AIs, I would say, if you do that. So, and we do have a great deal of SDKs. So this is there's probably more, but this is what the MCP community have listed. So you have things for .NET and Java and Shift, Rust, TypeScript, Python, whatever. So there are SDKs for most of the languages. So you don't have to like only do one. That could also be a problem. There's a lot of example codes in different languages, and it's not too easy to like read a Go code to realize how you do it in C#, for example. So that is kind of part of the problem here, that some languages is more popular to do things in, but you may be comfortable in another. So there could be a lack of things. But at least the C# one have a lot of examples inside of the repo. So where the SDK is in GitHub, you can find a sample folder for all the kind of different things you can do. So it's easy to find examples. But if you're looking for like blog posts and so on, you're probably not going to find too much of it. So just putting it out there, but we're going to focus on like the box on C# today. So, but what could an MCP server actually do? There's 3 different capabilities you can do. There. So the most common thing is tools. So this is something you do, like an action, it's like get or update perform. So you can get information, you can put information, you can update information, you can perform an action, like the usual thing you do with an API, I would say. So that is the most common thing, and that's what we're going to do today. The other one is resources. So this is more like read-only resources, text, images, JSON, etc. It could be like an SQL scheme or a workflow, or just facts or terms or vocabulary, like look up things. This is used a little different than tools inside of the IE things. It could be that it's listing things, so you can like scroll and find it like regular resources. Or it could be that the AI actually goes to it when it needs it or something like that. So it's just more data information, I would say. And then we have prompts. So this is like templates for prompts you can expose. So it could give the user guidance on how to use your MCP server, like what can I do or something, like examples, or complicated like prompts where you need to tell it a lot of different things. You can have placeholder in the prompts as well. So if you have a prompt and people realize how to use it, then you have 2 placeholder for input facts or something similar to that. So that could be really good. Of course, you can do an MCP server with just one of these things. So you can have a prompt MCP server only prompts. So if you have like a prompt library for things you do that's relevant for something, you can put it in an MCP server and then expose them to the tool and people can use them. So it could be it shouldn't be like a sentence, but more like a harder thing to express that you don't really know, like that. So that is kind of different options what you can expose from your MCP server, I would say. So if we have an example of an MCP that we are creating for something like Salesforce or HubSpot, something for a salesperson, the tools could be things like get a phone number for a person, log a conversation that you had, list unanswered emails or related contests or something. Resources could be more like the information on the products you are selling, or like flows for setting up things for customers, or different images or something that you need. And for the prompts things, it can be things like, it can be a prompt that helps you generate an email about the latest campaigns. You need different inputs, and you can do that behind the scenes after you use that prompt. It could be like product promotions or something. So prompts that helps people know what you can do with your tools, but also how to express yourself. And like, so both examples, but also usable things, I would say. So that's the part that I'm going to do the PowerPoints on. So the next information I would do and tell, I would say, for that. But while I'm switching screens and stuff, do we have any questions either from the audience or from you guys?
Not yet. No questions so far. I like your presentation about the like clear definition of MCP servers. The quickest, I mean the easiest one is to think of it as like a USB-C, and but I like how you formatted the different parts of it. So I'm encouraging our audience to that are watching us live. I see some to don't be shy and ask questions if you have any. Right now we're just kicking off, so I look forward to the demo. None so far, Cecilia.
Yeah.
Feel free to share your screen.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share. Gonna do for, so I'm gonna use Visual Code, but it's not, you can use whatever you like, of course. So do we see it? Yeah, we do. Nice. So for this demo, I have an example of, I have a issue system somewhere where I put my things to do. And for the example, I have issues like it's similar to like Azure DevOps, GitHub, like those kind of issues. So it's issues for coding or stuff. That's kind of example. So I have created a data layer for it. So I have my issues where I have issues class with like an ID, a name, a description, a status, created date, update date, comments, like regular thing you would have on an issue. I have a list class of them too. I'm gonna tell you later why. And then I do have like hard-coded issues right here just for demo cases. But I have like implement dark mode and optimize database queries or add user profile page, like things you could see in the like a coding issue system around that. So I'm setting that up, and I do have functions to get all issues, get an issue by ID, create an issue, update an issue, delete an issue, things you probably would see in a system like this. So that's kind of what we have to work with. We have a list of issues, we have a function, different functions to get all the issues and so on. Then I have created kind of a regular web API, nothing fancy. It's just .NET 10, of course, gonna be cool and use the latest. And in the program CS file, it's nothing fancy, just standard stuff here, more or less. Probably less. Cleaned up a couple of stuff I don't really need, but so this is what I have. So and then I have started to do a class just to save a lot of time with the kind of function that I actually want to expose. So I want to have the possibility to get all issues, to get a specific issue, to change status on issue, of course. I'm gonna like starting to work on it, close it, whatever. And I also want the possibility to add comments to my issues. Of course, I wanted to do more than this, but this is a good start, starting point, good amount of things to do, I would say. So there is nothing fancy here to see, just regular things that are returning and doing stuff like that. So now we decided we want to do this. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. So you can either have an API like this, and then you can put a new project with like a shell above it and expose the things you want to do. The problem with that is the API that you already have probably don't have the dividance of functions and right like level of them to expose them right away. You usually maybe have a get issue with a couple of different input. You can get an issue by, or like get all issue, have a filter for every single property or something. That may be a bit complicated for the AI, so it's better to have a more single responsibility things thought on the function. So if you want to have a filter for both the like who is assigned to it and the status and so on, they better have one for each than and trying to cram them into a lot of different parameters, because that's going to be complicated for the AI. So it's better to do it like simple and like one stuff at a time thinking. So but right now we want to actually use this one to change this kind of regular API to an MCP thing. So I need to start to, let's see, where do I have terminal? Oh, there it was. We need to add this SDK, and the SDK we are going to use is called add package. Oh, you need to be in the right folder first. So .NET add package model what the fuck? Text protocol.ASP.NET Core. And if you're doing the local thing, you are going to use a different package because you don't need the web stuff now. This package is almost in a release state. They are right now just released maybe the latest release, pre-release. So it's going to be version 1 really soon. They are stabilizing. The last pre-release had a couple of breaking changes, but they have said that this was the last pre-release with breaking changes. Now they're not just trying to stabilize it now. So hopefully we will see the full version in a couple of days, weeks, months, whatever. But sometimes in the beginning of the year, I would guess, I would say. So let's see if I got this right. Yeah. So yeah. A couple of things. Yeah. So let's hide that for now. And we are going to go into program CS first. We need to add, so basically one of the things we have in MCP server is that we have like more information on the function themselves. So we need to, that will help the AI to know what they can do with it, with the functions, and what information they're going to provide and what information they're going to get. So we are going to share, you're going to add builder.service. Add MCP server. So we're going to add that. It's going to expose everything. It's going to do a lot of things automatically the way we are setting up it right now. So it's going to be a little bit magic behind these functions, but when I show you the information we're going to add, you're going to realize, oh, so this one is exposed through this with help of these functions. So we're going to specify what protocol we're going to do. So if we want to do an AI, we do with AI. No, we do with standard. Oh, that's not here because we have a different package. But we're going to specify if this is an HTTP thing or if it's a standard AI IO thing. It's a lot of A and I things there. And I also need to specify what do I have to offer. So I'm going to say we have tools. So we have tools, resources, and prompts. So we need to tell what kind we have. And then we also need to specify what tool do we have. So we can specify here like the class or something like that. But since we don't have so much things, the easiest way to say that's like everything you find in this project, or this assembly. The assembly is the name of an application. So everything you find in this project, you're going to expose and tell AI that we have. So that makes it really easy. And then we also need to do an app.map MCP here. So similar thing, you see the pattern similar to other webby.net thing that you do. And let's do a .NET build just to be safe, that I have everything in place. So we don't need to chase bug afterwards. Oh, first time. So Cecilia, nice. So now that the frames is set up, let's go into my function that we do have. So I need to provide the information that we have things here. So we do that with attributes. So here we're going to add the attribute of MCP server tool type. That is telling our generators that this class contains tools. And for the different functions, we are also going to add MCP server tool. So that's what we are going to put up on all of them. So if you have if you have more of an internal tool, so we're not going to decorate the function with that. So now we expose all our 4. So now we just have adding them to the list that the AI is going to get and allowing the AI to call them more or less. But we need to add information on what is it. Of course, get all issue types is going to give a couple of information on what it is, but sometimes you don't have that good amount of information in the name, or you need additional information. So what we need to add is descriptions. So we add another attribute called descriptions with information on what we actually do with all the different functions. So of course, this is going to be kind of similar. So we could have something longer and more elaborate. The more we are telling the AI what this actually does, then it's easier for the AI to know how to use it. But don't do like 10 lines of code. It gets confused with too much information, but enough to actually do. So this could be like list all. So maybe we have several get all issues things. Maybe we have one with a filter, some with that's like what orders they're going to show up in, or we have like maybe this one is giving us the open issues. So then we need to add it here. Maybe that's like hidden in this inside of this function. Then we need to add this information here in the description to make it just so you actually know exactly what it do. But for now, this is good enough. What we also need to do is describe our input. So we have input here, right? So we're going to add descriptions here as well. ID of the issue to get. Maybe we can add. We're going to do the issue. ID of the issue to change the status. New status for the issue. That's good enough. Let's do this. The ID of the issue to add comment to. Comment to add to the issue. So we're going to decorate that. So that information is going to bring into AI. So it will know like, okay, I need to send it in an ID, and an ID is the ID of an issue to add a comment and nothing else. So it actually understand it. And if you paid attention, we also had the description thing in the issues. So just to save time, I did it before. So we also described all the different part of the classes. These are, in our case, this is just returning values to the things, but it could be that we also use the model to MCP server to create issues, for example. And that in that case is really important to have the things, but it also is good to know for when it's going to do work with the returning things, it need to understand all the different pieces and not just doing that. And I'm going to do that later. So let's see if we do that. We're actually going to take it for a test run right now. So this is kind of, no, something is wrong. Oh, I forgot namespace, I think I usually do. Using, let's see, model context protocol dot server dot namespace. Nope. Where are we? Spelling error. As I say, I love AI. So now it's succeeded. So we're gonna start it. So of course, when we're doing this, we host it somewhere. But when we develop and demoing like that, we're gonna run it locally. But just to get a hang of it, that they have it in hosted environment. So we have the address here. And then now we can use this inside of any AI tool we have. So we can go to ChatGPT or using Visual Studio Copilot, whatever. But when we are doing development, we would like to see more behind the scene on the AI side too, right? So when we try to figure out stuff, we run the server as code, and we can have breakpoints and outputs, stuff like that. And we run the AI. We also want to have like breakpoints, code, etc. So we're going to use an emulator. So we're going to use an emulator and like an AI system emulator for MCP servers.
Hi, Cecilia. I'm interrupting now. We're streaming in multi-channels, different in YouTube, but we got a feedback from LinkedIn, one of the users. I don't know who it is. It shows that the screen share is a bit blurred on the side. So maybe I did also check. It's actually a bit blurry. So maybe we can zoom a bit if it's possible.
Okay, so I need some more.
Yeah, I did try to make the entire screen.
Okay, so if I do something like
I hope it's better for the LinkedIn. Maybe LinkedIn user. This is like a secret person. I don't know who it is, but I'll check. But it says the screen is blurred. But
in
maybe
between, it's maybe it's like a streaming issue. So if you look at the stream afterwards inside of LinkedIn, or otherwise your publishing is on YouTube, right, on the YouTube channel, so you can go back.
Yes.
So I'm sorry for that. I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing and typing, so you can.
It's I see the name now. It's Durai Mathaman, one maybe of our followers on the LinkedIn Azure User Group Sweden. But Durai, if you switch to YouTube, I'll share it on our LinkedIn chat. You can watch Cecilia there. But thank you, Cecilia.
I try to do a bigger font because I know looking at recordings that small is too small, and if you do it live, you usually have to do it. But sorry, we should have checked that before. But and
YouTube is fine. I'll share the YouTube link. Thank you, Cecilia.
I will do a little bit more coding soon. So maybe we can. Yeah, so it's really hard, just the things with blurring. You need to go really big to do it. So this is a project, open source project called Inspector. I'm gonna share a link to this in the end, but basically it's gonna give you an emulator or an MCP inspector, as I call it, where you can set up everything, you can try out everything, you see the data that's been sending and so on. So it's really good. So transport type, I'm going to be a stream of HTTP. If I did have an standard AI thing, I set that up. SSE, I think this is an old one. Like it's really fun to call something this new old, but I think this is an old thing that you shouldn't really use. So stream HTTP is what we do have now. I do think it's the same address since I've done it before. If I have proxy I need to take care of, if I did add authentication, because you can do that as well, of course, you can do authentication headers or use an OAuth2 flow. To make it simple, we haven't gone down that rabbit hole today. And there's a couple of other configuration with timeouts and stuff like that we can do. So let's see if I can connect. That's the first. Yeah. So if you didn't able to connect, there's something wrong, completely wrong, or you're not running it. So on the AI tool side, you need to do a little bit of dancing. First, you need to send an initialize call. So this tool is doing that, where you actually more or less call what version are you using as a response. So you don't need to do that when you're using the SDKs, because that is inside of it. And then you set a logging level of that. It's a lot of things around logging that you can use and have as well. We're not going to dig into that today. So, and the next step you're going to do is see what we can do. And we only did tools here. So that's the only one that's going to light up here. And otherwise, so here in the initial call, we actually, from the server view, tells the AI what we can do. So it have told them that we have tools. Okay, so, and you can list them. So that's part of the dancing start. So we are going to do tools tab. And if you're going to use tools, you need to start listing your tool in the AI tool. You don't need to do this when you are putting the MCP service in an AI tool. This is what the AI tool will do. But we do that as a developer to see. We have different functions here. So with maybe change status thing. Oh, sorry, we're gonna look down here, sorry. So here is the response. So we add just the request on list of tools, and we get this. So we get all the issues, we get the issue, the change status, the add comment. And if we look at what we do have, we're going to see that the input schema, we have a property called ID, and then we have a description here. It's an integer, and the new status, what is that? And it's a string. And then we have the enum for the statuses. Since this is an enum, we have them there. And the required one is ID and new status. We could have optional parameter as well. So we have a couple of information here. There is a couple of issues here. We do have, could be a kind of strange name. It just have changes lately, so it doesn't have a big A as a small a, but underscore instead. So it have generated the name here. So we haven't decided exactly what the name of the function AI should get. And sometimes it could be maybe confusing. It have the descriptions, but it's kind of what's generated. We also don't really have a good way of, so if you look at this function and then expose it to a user, because this part, the right part is the user part, then it's going to have like and get issues information that the same name is displayed for the user. And this feels kind of internal. You want to have like a more nice way of showing the name of it or something. So we can start, yeah, and then we have another issue as well. We do have, let's see, we have an issue on, so we don't really, so this is getting issues. We have all the input, but we don't have any information on the output. I told you we added the description and stuff like that, but we don't really get that information here. So we are missing that one. So let's go and fix this. So let's go here. And on the MCP server tool attribute, we have a couple of things we can add. So we can add something called name. So this is the name that the AI will get on a function. And we also have a title. And this is a name that the human gonna get on the function. Spell it right. So with this, we have the AI name, we have the human name, more or less. And then this is gonna give a list of issues. So we want to add metadata of all the different part of the issue. So we're gonna use structured output true. So this is going to tell it that, oh, by the way, this function it has more information on the output, more or less. And here is the magic behind why I actually use the issues list instead of a generic list, because I found that the generic list will not really it will not structure the data in the right way and give all the extra information. So that's why I do have this where it's here, this extra list that's basically just a list, because I wanted to have this kind of extra information that you don't get with that. So that is a hack, and I did. So now let's add things and restrict output. So we just populate this, change start to get that structured output. So it's an issue there. And then we have, so if you don't have any complicated output, we don't need to use structured output as well. So now I added that, and we hopefully will see, no, we need to go there. And then we just reconnect to it. We're gonna do clear history, clear. We should connect, and then we list the tools. So now if we go to get issue, for example, we're gonna see that. Oh no, we don't see it here. Sorry, we're gonna see it when we're trying it out. But here we get the name and the description. Sorry, doesn't feel like the changes went through. Reconnect. Oh, let's see. Maybe we need to restart it as well. Oh, something's failed. What did we do? Use structured output. Did I do something wrong? Yes, of course. I did this before. The AI fooled me. So let's go to, it's the wrong name of the property. It's called use structured content. Use structured content. That's the right name. This is not the first time that it's fooled me with this one, but I stepping into that trap all the time. Let's see. Okay, so now it's up and running. Let's go here. Let's do some clear and clear, and then reconnect there, and then list tools. Hopefully we'll see something more. Yeah, so now we have the name for the AI and the name for the human. We have the output schema. We didn't have that before, so we have all the things that we saying that we outputs and what data type and the description of it. Yeah. So, and with this tool, we can actually try this out. So we can try to get, let's see, get all issues is a good start. So we could run the tool, and then we can see success. We got this output from it. So we actually see kind of, you can try to run them. We see what we're going to get. We have, of course, the other thing up and running, so we can see that as well. So it's a really good debugging tool. But now we need to move out to do it in a real tool, of course. So we are going to go to the code. I hope you don't get too confusing by that. So this is just a regular, which is the cool Visual Studio code. We don't have anything open or anything, but we have our GitHub Copilot here. So we're going to go and open the configuration for user configuration, and then we don't have as big. Let's go in. And I do have one here already on the Microsoft Docs. But let's add a new one called issues maybe. And then type HTTP, and then we need to have the one that we have here. See. Oh, no, it's right. We get a lot of. Let's go to. Let's take it here. It's this way. We have a lot of output on the other one. So there and there, and hopefully I'll save. So, and we get these nice tools here, so we can start it. And we're going to see that we have 4 tools. And then I usually go for a new chat just to make sure that it's been loaded. So we need to use the agent. If we are going for ask, that's just ask questions. They don't have support for MCP servers, so we need to use the agent. So I can say, list all my issues. So, and now I get this alert that it wants to call the function get all issues. We have the nice name here. If we didn't have that, we would have get underscore all underscore issues. Not a really nice way to show it. and you give the user have an option to allow this once or for the session or workspace or whatever. This is kind of annoying because, like, how dangerous is it for the user to get all the issues? Probably not. So we're going to fix that and making sure that like the non-dangerous thing is allowed by default, and then like things that are more dangerous, like updating the status or like doing stuff, is asked about. So, but basically I got it. It took the liberty to group them into open and in progress. So this was the same call that we saw here, where we get all the things here. No, I had to close it. But the whole list of all they weren't grouped or anything. That's the AI that done that after all. Good. So, and I can say like, so if we take one of the open ones, so change status of. Okay, so this is like show info on the after, yeah, something like this. Probably we can use 2 as well. If we have problem with the AI tool done. This AI tool, I would say, to not recognize that they're going to use the MCP server, you could use the name of issues that I had there and say like use that tool. So you can do that. So here I get the data. It wants to send ID to get my issue by ID. Here, and we can actually see what we did get from that call. So the input and output is here, so we can see how it looked like, and it's 2 different formats. Just so we get this, and like, can you set that to on? And I don't need to use exactly the same name to the status, etc. So I don't have ongoing, I have in progress. It's gonna figure that out. We're gonna love that. Kind of annoying to get the question, so we're going to fix that before we. I know we is kind of running out of time, but so quickly, just how we can change the question thing on it. So on all our functions, we can also add something called read only. This is not the correct. Read only. True. So by that, we are not going to get the question on, do you like to run this function? It's just going to run it. So that's basically what we do. That. So with all the like non-destructive or changing function we had read only, we're not going to get that question again on it. So, but I think we're going to stop there for demoing. Just going to share a couple of links with you as the last thing, so you will have it. So let's do, nope, wrong screen. Maybe there it is. So this is the last thing I'm going to do in this presentation. So with the first link here is the specification on the MCP protocol, and you have links to all the SDKs, you have a list of all the AIs that support things, you have the specification on like how are they supposed to be function, and when they do a new version of MCP protocol, you have the versioning, what's changed, documentation, a lot of that. So you find like everything and links to everything you need to have here. Is also a community part on it. And the other link going to this emulator for the AI tool emulator, where you can call your tool and see that all the different parts are actually working and giving the right information and so on. So that is the last thing that I wanted to share with you. So yeah, so now we can see if we have any questions, I think.
Yes, thank you so much for a great presentation here, Cecilia. So we have a question here from the audience. So it's Anton Marklund who says, I want to run GUI-based applications like AutoCAD on a virtual machine and interact with them through an MCP server hosted on that virtual machine. What is the best way to connect to this MCP server from my local computer?
So is this VM on your machine or on? Okay, so that maybe not. So you can see, I would say just the top of my head that is if because you're not on the VM that you have the things you want to do, you can't use standard AI. So you need to use stream HTTPS. So the same way we did now. And then you need to make sure that you have access on it and hosting it on a way that you can access it. So you probably need to have some kind of web runner, web host on that VM machine, I would say, so you can access it. So you can think about it like it would be in the cloud or something, that you need to have that. I would say that is what you need to, unless you can expose your things on your application in some way and then access it to that from your computer. Maybe you can do standard AI, something like that.
Yes.
So
yeah, I would also probably recommend what do you call that? Since he did mention something about local, when I think about local computer and I think about like on-prem, probably the option for Azure Arc, or the hybrid scenario for Azure that allows you to connect your on-prem or local data center to the cloud services, and for sure integrate it with Azure AI or MCP as well tools. Probably that's one way to check out, because I know hybrid is also going AI, like the local AI tools for that. How do you have any input to add also?
wait, I don't need like so. No, okay. So he's saying that he want to host MCP server at the VM, and that want to access the thing. So
Local, yeah.
yeah, so that's what he's doing. And exposing. So hosted on the VM. Okay, so he already doing that. Let's see. I need to get all the lines together. So yeah, so if you host, so maybe yeah, so it's an MCP app, and then he's calling that from another way already, but he needs to like, so you basically have the web API that need to access local things, I would say. So that's the general things that you need to solve. How do you still solve that? Yeah, so of course
unique use case.
Yeah, you can call stuff locally from your hosted things. So the same way that you would do with an API, I would say, where you can actually call like your disk or other APIs, or like you may need to, if you have a DNL or something, you need to do a little bit of wrapping to call it. It's not the standard way, but you should not to give a long answer, but you should look into like, how do I call the local stuff? I don't really know if it's an API or the DL or whatever from an web API or hosted or something. That's kind of what you want to look at, I would say.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, maybe take a look also the hybrid options for like if you have a hosted VM or server. Let's see. Thank you, Anton. I hope you're satisfied with Cecilia's or any of our answers, but feel free to connect to Cecilia if you have follow-up questions in mind. This is a very interesting question you have. Probably there are like unique questions that come up, Cecilia. Yeah, he did respond. Thank you. Follow Cecilia or follow us. We'll get back to you and try to help you with your question and that. I know I have.
It's really, I do like this kind of real life questions. I only have my own real life to go through. I have the good opportunity to be a consultant, so I have a lot of different realities. I don't have like one company, but there are going to pop up things, and like it helped me learn stuff as well. What are people trying to do with this thing, and what are they trying to solve? And it helps me grow my knowledge to help them solve the problem as well. So
Yeah. Oh, we got a great, we have a big fan. Chago is joining us, the fellow MCP, MCT, MCT trainer is also learning from us. I'm so happy. I do have a question. Since we don't have any like special other questions aside from Anton, it probably Håkan has something. She's also in the space of AI. We're beyond the time, but I think great discussions is good. But I'm asking the question in a perspective of a developer or someone who is new in MCP servers or learning or adapting AI tools for development. Based on what you've learned so far or built, Cecilia, what do you think are at least the top 3 or 5 best practices that you can share to junior developers or beginners of this technology in things to think about, like, hey, don't do this and do that,
Yeah.
real life experience, no bias, no documentation, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yes. So kind of general stuff is kind of more of a AI general API general thing that you need to think about authentication. So who do you want to be able to use this? If you host it internally, maybe you could skip like authentication. You can't reach it from everyone else, but you should add the authentication even by them. So think about who's going to use it, how you're going to handle the authentication. Of course, you can put something up publicly, but then you need to think about, like, if someone is overusing it, can I keep track of and kind of block it with the tools or something, so we don't get like overuse on the usage and traffic and stuff like that. And of course there are public ones, so it's doable, but then you need to think about, like, so if someone's trying to to make my Azure bill go up, how do I stop them and so on? So that's kind of the first part. The second part is the one that I mentioned, that there's a little bit of a mind switch on how to design the APIs, I would say. Like one single thing to do, both like in what kind of information you get, on what kind of input you get, or the action you do or something. So it needs to be a really simple interface thing, not as complicated that you're probably going to do your internal APIs. So, but you can still use your internal APIs as a way to go there, but you need to do an abstract layer on it, I would say. So that's number 2. Number 3.
I'm sorry, I asked you random questions. You're not prepared. I like ad hoc questions.
No. Things to think about when you're starting out with this. Use the inspector, I would say, just to get a hang of it, because it may look like it's working well. There's a lot of magic thing going on in the AI tools, so it may fix things and so on. So it may look good. Also think about the description of things. I did a really short one here for the demo, but it may be needed to explain more on what it is and how it works and so on. So be mindful of that you really need to, like, that's the all way. You don't have like a starting prompt or something for AI to tell it what you're going to do. And the third one I could say, so when you are, this depends on the AI tool, but if you go to Visual Studio Code, you could use customize prompt, I think it's called, customize instruction too. So if you have a lot of tools, like an issue, it can be a problem for it to know what's an issue. You have GitHub as well as your own issues, whatever. So you need to tell the models, like in configuration mode, when it's going to use your MCP server and when going to use the other server. So, and in Visual Studio Code, you can do that with customize instructions. Other tools, you can easily turn them on and off. You can turn them off here as well. But you need to be mindful of that when you're trying to describe your MCP server function, stuff like that. Like an issue is very generic, so maybe you have a name on your issue system, so you can describe it more or use the name or something. So it can be a collision there, I would say. I think there is a marketplace for MCP servers right now somewhere. It's a couple of different things. So if you want to expose it to more people, you can to look into that. Maybe there's a link on that site as well. I don't really remember.
I'll check it
now,
out.
but,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there's a list of MCP servers like on GitHub for different things. I know there's a C# MCP and SDK for different tools. There's GitHub, there's Microsoft Learn that I actually tried. So these are I can maybe send that one here. I think it's good for everyone, for all of us. But one, did you have more like tips to add, Cecilia? Because I have one
that was 5. There was a 5. So let's stop with that.
Yeah. So one of the things I noticed also working with MCP servers and VS Code is like when you have multiple MCP servers, like you have GitHub, you have Azure MCP, you have like Microsoft Learn MCP. I know there's more also for testing, Playwright. It can slow down if you have all of them active and running and you're working only with one. So it's also good to kind of like choose which MCP servers that you run, or maybe restart it if needed, like if you're working locally. Probably you have noticed that also, Cecilia, if you have multi MCPs going on. Yeah, I think that's it. We're beyond time. We do have a feedback, a question first, Cecilia. I don't know the name. I will find out on LinkedIn. But can I ask my doubts if Amy, after the session later, when I deep dive into the concept, I think he or she means can she follow up or he follow up on you? Of course.
Yeah, you can. So I did have my, let's see.
Your contact.
Yeah, I can put it in the chat, right? And you can
yeah,
share it,
if they can follow
well.
you, yes, I can share it to everybody. And all channels.
It's complicated. I need to log in or something.
Oh no, it's okay. We do have actually your socials on the meetup, but we'll do a follow up also on the pause session.
God damn it! Join the chat. How hard can it be? click. Whoops! You try. I can't join it.
No.
So let's see. I put it in our private chat, and then we can as you see, you can search for me on LinkedIn. That's the safest way of finding me, I would say.
There's only you, I think, in your full name in LinkedIn.
I do have, I think it's a lawyer in Stockholm, something, same name, but basically I call myself Cecilia Sharp, so that is one of the way of finding me. So
okay, we got one.
Yes, if you could.
Okay, let me share that.
Yeah, so that would be the easiest way to find me, I would say.
Yeah, that's good. And I want to share also one last feedback, which is a compliment to you, Cecilia. Like, appreciated a very exciting coding session. Learned a lot. I also agree. Definitely rewatch the YouTube video again. So thank you very much, Cecilia, for your time this weekend, and we appreciate your time. How about you, Håkan? Did you have anything that you want to like highlight while we are on live stream?
No, I just want to thank Cecilia once again here for a very good introduction to MCP servers, and I would encourage anyone who is interested to join our fika here afterwards, so we can discuss together.
That's right. Yeah, we do give a chance to everybody to kind of like do an after session fika if we run out of time. If you want to have other questions to Cecilia, or just want to mingle with me and Håkan with something to drink on a private Zoom meeting, feel free to join us. We devote kind of like a time frame, 15 minutes, so we don't extend talking all about MCP all afternoon. But if you want to join, feel free to join this bit.ly linked later. Azure Sweden -Fika 2026 at the end of our live stream, because we need to switch into that. And you can also scan this QR code, by the way, if you want to join us or if you're lazy to type in, you can just scan it later or remember it later. Okay, I think that's it. Håkan is having technical issues with the cam, I think. He will be back. The tech live stream issues can happen sometimes, just like live demos. But you did the live demo perfectly, Cecilia, except that we had a blurry issue there.
I guess that's a platform, but it's a good lesson to learn to actually try to. Hopefully, it was easier to see, or the recording is better. That's like a buffering thing or something. Yes. So.
Yes. I'm glad my tech works with me today. That's a good sign for the new year. Hey, Håkan. Velkommen tillbaka.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, welcome back. You're a resilient host in spite of the technical issues. That's awesome. Did you have any final words, Cecilia, to our audience, public before we switch to Zoom? I don't know how many will join, but we'll be there and see if someone shows up in the next 5 minutes. But do you have any last words, any events, or anything that you want to share to the community initiatives?
Yeah, I can share that I'm working on a workshop on this, because there's a lot of more things you can do. You can, for example, like when you get a call to your MCP server, you can actually call back and ask for more information on stuff and so on. So there's a couple of more things you can do, much around logging and authentication. So I'm working on a workshop. I'm doing it in one of my conferences in the future.
Really? Where is it?
Yes, so let's see, where's my upcoming sessions?
You have not kicked off yet. I also need to remind myself where is next.
So I'm doing in Mars in Future Tech in Netherlands. I'm doing to do a workshop on creating that. I also gonna so that's a, let's see, that's a shorter one, I think. I also doing it on Basta Spring in Frankfurt.
Finland? Okay.
Frankfurt.
Okay.
That's in also in Mars. 2nd of Mars, I think. So that's what's planned right now. I will see if I'm gonna do it more. This is up to the conferences, but if your company or something need it, or if you want to set it up privately or something. So I do have a workshop going on to be able to teach more people around this. So that's coming up. And of course, follow me on LinkedIn for more information. I'm going to blast it out there when I have something set up, or you can wish something. So that's kind of what's going on, I would say.
That's awesome. I've been speaking about MCP servers as well, but maybe I like the idea that I'm learning from you and we can probably synergize. Maybe we should write a book together or make a session together and just like
it's kind of dangerous to write a book on something this new. It's changing. I think it's changing too much. But
development focus on how you can build and use it on development. I think it's very important topic today. Like, as a developer, where do you start? Like, which MCP tools or servers are really good to have? So a lot of potential, but also we need to keep the focus and get into the right directions as well.
Yeah, I do love to write a book someday. I know it's not a good idea. I know a lot of people have done it, but
I've done it.
Yeah,
I've done it.
So
I'm working on another edition.
I know, like, the tech is moving too fast for actually writing.
So
I think I'm gonna settle for a children's book or something. But I do like to write a book someday.
Yeah, someday when it's stable, when we see it stable, let's collaborate. I'll help you with the writing experience.
Yeah.
Okay, Håkan, I'm sorry, we've been talking a lot. Sorry, go ahead. We need to end the live stream and switch soon. Go ahead, Håkan.
No, I was just saying that if anyone has more questions, we can discuss it here on the Zoom meeting.
All right. Yes. And time to say goodbye and end the live stream, even though we're really having a good time. But if you have time, few minutes to join us and continue the conversation, join me, Håkan and Cecilia, on the Zoom link that I shared on the chat right after we end the stream. So thank you so much, Cecilia and Håkan, for your time. And I hope those watching us live today or recorded, will have a great weekend and a great week ahead also after that. But thank you and see you again in 2 weeks. We also have a new session coming up, which we will announce in a few days. So have a great weekend, everyone, and enjoy. Bye-bye. See you next time.